Good evening. The government announces the Clean Air Plan for Hong Kong 2035, setting out a goal for the city's air quality to be on par with major international cities by 2035.
We would try to, firstly, maximize the use of local renewable energy that is supported by many people in town. And meanwhile, we are using more natural gas as the traditional energy for the power generation. Regarding the roadside air quality, is a challenging task. On one hand, I think the popularization of EV would help to address that issue. As mentioned in the opening remark, the bus companies are making very positive response to our EV roadmap. They are working on two aspects. One is to electrify the bus fleet, including the single-decker and also double-deck buses. It's not easy, but I think we see the need and also the technology is improving. So they are testing the new energy vehicles at the same time to improve the, charging facilities in their depots so that we can empower Hong Kong to improve the vehicle-related emissions. At the same time, another bus company is going to try out the hydrogen buses. So we are exploring different technologies to improve the roadside air pollutions.
The government announces the launch of the sixth batch of silver bond for subscription by eligible citizens. The target issuance size is $24 billion, with a tenor of 3 years.
The silver bond was first issued in the year 2016, with a view to providing a safe and flexible investment option for senior citizens, including retirees. The government will issue the sixth batch of silver bond this year. Compared with last year, there are two major changes. First, the eligible age for subscription will be lower from 65 to 60. Second, the target issuance size will be increased from last year's 10 billion Hong Kong dollar to 24 billion. And depending on the situation, the government may consider increasing it to a maximum of 30 billion. These two changes aim to benefit more people by way of the issuance of silver bond. Specifically on the aspect of lowering the eligible age from 65 to 60, according to the original design, we require applicants to reach the age of 60 within the 2021 to 22 financial year, that is by the end of March 2022. But having regard to the reality that many senior citizens may not have their birth date or month as shown on their Hong Kong ID card, we have decided to accept subscription by Hong Kong residents with valid Hong Kong ID cards who were born in or before 1962. Other parameters of the silver bond are similar to those of last year. The tenor will be 3 years. Interest payment will be made every 6 months with an interest rate floor, that is the fixed rate, of 3.5%. In the event that the inflation picks up and consistently goes beyond 3.5%, because of the inflation-linked nature of the floating rate portion of the silver bond, investors may get interest payment exceeding 3.5%. For subscription, there will be 9 business days running from 9 a.m. on the 20th of July and end at 2 p.m. on the 30th of July. And the silver bond will be issued on the 10th of August. Application could be made through the 20 placing banks and 24 designated securities brokers. We strongly encourage investors to submit your subscription by telephone or e-channels for the sake of social distancing.
The government will sell 2 residential sites by tender in the July to September quarter that will offer about 200 flats.
The government announced the July to September land sale program. 2 residential sites in Kowloon Tong and Yuen Long will be sold by tender, offering about 200 flats. The Urban Renewal Authority also plans to sell by tender a development project at Bailey Street and Wing Kwong Street in To Kwa Wan, which can yield about 1,150 flats. The MTR Corporation plans to sell by tender a property development project in Tung Chung, capable of providing about 1,600 flats. Taking all sources into account, The total private housing land supply in the second quarter will provide about 5,400 units, which is a relatively high quarterly figure in recent years. In the first half of this financial year, the total private housing supply will amount to about 7,050 units, representing over 50% of the annual target. For commercial land, the two sites at Site 3 of the new Central Harbourfront and Causeway Bay will provide about 250,000 square metres of commercial gross floor area.
We do not intend to put up new commercial sites for tender in the second quarter. The government will continue to monitor the market situation and put up commercial sites for sale when appropriate. Looking ahead, the government will continue to increase land supply through a multi-pronged approach to meet the housing, economic, and social development needs of our community.
The Space Museum's Space Theatre will reopen on July 1 after the largest revamp since its inception in 1980, offering a seamless viewing experience to audiences.
The Space Museum's Space Theatre will reopen on July 1st after its largest revamp ever. Other Space Theatre facilities, including the digital sky projection system, audio equipment, the control studio and the production studio, have been upgraded with cutting-edge technologies to provide audiences with an exhilarating audio-visual experience. The major part of the renovation project was the replacement of the 23-metre diameter dome screen.
In the old dome screen theatre, because when we join the dome screens, they have to overlap with one another. So when you came to a space theatre to see an Omnix film, you will notice that the image will be striped. Okay, there are different dark strips along in the image. But now this time we're making use of the new nano-SIM technology. The dome panels no longer need to overlap. Okay, so that means they can be joined seamlessly with one another.
3 new shows will be screened in the refurbished Space Theatre, including a 3D dome show. Tickets will be available at the Space Museum box office and Urbtix from June 30th, priced at $24 for front stalls and $32 for stalls.
That's the news update.